Now we go back to cinema. We go back to cinema, and in cinema we will find Babylon, another 3 hour film.
Three hour and 9 minutes. Yes,
Another three
and
hour film.
from a film with lots of structure to basically a film that is all over the place with no structure. but okay. So the story of this is basically it's of an era when the silent films are starting to become it's coming into the sound era. So it's like the transition. So
Singing in the Rain.
yeah, that's in it. That's in it. So exactly right. So there's many references to that. So okay. So what we're going to say here is the 3 hours for me seemed like 1 hour. I did not believe. I didn't know how much time had gone. I totally loved this film. Damn, it's absolutely brilliant. It's all about. I mean, I know it's had a lot of pan, but this is just about cinema. If you're a cinemaphile, you've got to love it. So all the silent films, yeah. And it's basically this girl who's based on Clara Bow, I think Clara Bow, and you know some of the pictures I've seen. So called the It Girl, and she's really promiscuous and really. She breaks into the movies. She breaks into the movies.
Is that the Margot Robbie character?
That's the Margot Robbie character. And then you've got the Brad Pitt character, which is based on John Gilbert, and because you know this is a guy. So for all those things, it's pretty much all over the place. But there's some great stuff in this when they're filming. So you basically go in the desert and you've got all these little shacks with the people, you know, cutting the film, saying, "Okay, let's go." So you've got like a Western scene, and that's how the Margot Robbie character. I can't remember her name now, but yeah. So she's
I just like you just call her Margot Roberts.
Margot Robbie, yeah.
Margot Robbie.
yeah, Margot Robbie. So it's just, and there's references to loads. Like there's a Fatty Arbuckle scene. So it starts off basically. There's a bit of a prologue, and then you've got the big party where you can understand why it's 18 because there's nudity and there's all sorts of weird things going on.
Yeah, 1920s Hollywood.
And then
for kids.
And then someone comes in and goes, "Oh, you know, we've had a bit of an incident here," and it's obviously Fatty Arbuckle because they go in and this girls and the guy's like huge, and he goes, "What have you done, you big whale?" You know what I mean? It's like, so that's obviously the director must know all these silent films, you know. And there's a character called Lady Zhu, which is based on Anime Wong, which is the other one, which is a Chinese character who's like basically. Was like a lesbian and sort of quite fancies Mark. Anyway, so forget all that. Those are the characters, and there's loads and loads. She was Lady Farzu, brilliant costumes, everything. So anyway, they're shooting these films, and there's all these like little shacks in the desert of, and they're going, yeah, okay, come on, we need. And there's the one bit with John Gilbert, this one, which I'm sure is a film which I can't remember, but there's loads of extras going on in the background, and he's a bit drunk and all that, and he goes like, "Okay, action!" And he's really drunk, and he just like sobers up. And it's a scene where he's doing a kiss, and there's all this extra stuff going about. And then they come up, they're rushing up and saying, "Oh no, we've had an accident!" And there's like extras that have been speared and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like they're all looking around. Right, okay, drag him out. And
Hollywood before health and safety.
Hollywood before health and safety. Yeah, and there's like a big scene which I've seen, which I think might be Alexander Nevsky or something like that. It looked like but it's just like you got all these two groups of charging like knights and stuff all crash into each other. Really, really spectacular stuff. And then it goes into, you know, the sound comes along, and they're trying to transition into sound. Well, they've got like sound booths. You know, you probably know this being an engineer that you are, and it's like you've got the sound engineer, and so the Margot Robbie character, somebody comes in and she's like. He comes out. "No, you've got to get your mark. You've got to get your mark. You've got to get your mark," like that. So, and there's a bloke, the poor projectionist. He's in another box. It's really hot. He goes, "It's really hot in here. I need to get out." So he goes, "Go get in." And he goes, "Why can't you get your mark?" And she gets really, really sort of fed up as well. So it's just in the end, and so, but the female director in the film, who's directing the stuff, is the director's wife. Apparently, she plays because. It was quite good. She had the old jodhpurs on, you know, like the costumes.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Big, massive megaphone.
Yeah. And then the guy says, the Manny character, the guy who wants to get involved, he says, because they're trying to get the scene, he says, "What you want? You want the trumpeter." So they got like the jazz trumpeters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what you want to film. That's what you're going to film. So they end up.
It's a Damien Chazelle film. There's going to be jazz. Jazz
Yeah,
is going to come in there
jazz,
somehow.
yeah. But there's a thing when they're thinking it, when the executives come in and they say, "Oh, the jazz trumpeter. You probably know the actor, don't you? Let's see. I mean, might need my eyes or whatever. But anyway, and he goes, "You're not black enough. You're going to have to black up because we can't show this in the South because of mixed race things." And he's like, let's see if we can find who he is. And so they give him this, whatever it is, the makeup to make him blacker than it's just like, so yeah. And he's not too happy about that, which you can understand, but he wants to be famous. So he wants to make money, but
yes.
A bit like, yeah.
Joe Van Adekbo, I know the actor. Yeah.
So that was quite profound. He goes, "Oh, you're gonna have to," and he's like looking around and saying, "Do you know what I mean? There's no point, no point." "Oh, well, we can't because they think it's mixed race and we can't show it in the South." And anyway, so that's a little sideline. What else to be put here?
All I can say is that you started off by saying this is a film that's all over the place, and Sean, in your review,
it's all over the place.
You are conveying that perfectly.
It was right up my street. This was the sort of film that was like totally. I was totally immersed in this, especially when it came to like the cinema bits. You've got to hit your mark. And the end bit towards the end bit is. That's why we go to cinema. But anyway, there's another bit where John Gilbert, he's made a sound film, and he happens to go into the cinema to see the sound film being made, and everybody starts laughing and stuff, So it's
because it is. I think it's one of those things that I think we probably know this because we're sad cinema fans and all that kind of stuff. But when Hollywood invented sound, or when sound recording was figured out how to get that into films, it ruined a lot of careers because all of a sudden people who were like heartthrobs, people were like, "Oh yeah, he looks dreamy," until he opens his mouth. What the heck is that sound? and sound destroyed a lot of careers because people couldn't do what they were doing before, and people said once you put the sound in there, it's not the same effect as the person had, or the person could do the physical acting but couldn't do the more realistic acting.
Yeah, and that was the reference with Singing in the Rain, because Singing in the Rain does come into this.
Yeah, Singing in the Rain deals with that.
Deals with that, yeah.
Up your alley, Sean. How many stars?
Okay, well, there was a couple of bits in there which I thought were unnecessary and a bit disgusting, and didn't really. I thought, especially the prologue bit with an elephant.
Oh yeah, with the elephant. I've heard about the elephant.
I was like, why would you put that in there? And there's a couple of scenes like that which I wasn't comfortable with. So that stops it being a 5-star. So I'm going to give it a 4-star for this one. Ooh, so yeah, I liked it. Yeah. So, but those not particularly nice bits were, they would knock it down from being a 5. And I know I'm probably different to everyone else because I know the film, I don't think it's been nominated at all for the Oscars. And actually, after seeing this film, I listened to the Commode review and he didn't like it, and loads of people don't like it. But I actually really, 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 really liked it. And I looked at some of the comments underneath the YouTube thing, and it was saying, "Why is he saying that? It's a great film." And so there are a lot of people. I think this is a real Marmite film.
Yeah,
so, But for me, loving cinema, it was, cut, get your mark. You got to get your mark. You know what I mean? With the sound booths and the, everything, because no one can make any noise, and there's some guy who sniffs or something. You know what I mean?
So Even at my level, I've had things that have been ruined. I was actually editing a video the other day, and it's just somebody talking to the camera, and then I'm listening back to it afterwards. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh, rubbish. Somebody was in the other room chatting about their wedding or something. It's like, you've ruined it. You've ruined my take. But it's not that serious, so I have to use it anyway. But I'm like, all right, cool. So, the Babylon maybe one for cinephiles. I mean, this is the film that I mentioned. It was the 3-hour film that I mentioned when Sharon, Holly, and I were complaining and saying that we don't want to watch Avatar. And I was like, but I do want to watch Babylon, but not Avatar. They're both 3 hours plus. I don't know why. But anyway, so